Anyway, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the hot tub. We're back. Someone asked if I have new ink. No, I do not have new ink, Will Heron. All of those drug tests that I'm not doing, those happen during business hours, and then of course visits with our kids, which are about the most important thing in the world to me right now. Those happen during the daytime as well. So those kind of make setting a streaming schedule difficult. I think I was saying it on Camelot Show. They don't give you a schedule. You have to just grab times that become available. And so it's not consistent. It's not consistent at all. So with that, it's just been kind of getting used to that, getting that shit worked out. Hopefully that won't be going on much longer. I think there's some promising movement on that, which is good. Hopefully we're back now. Dude, seriously. I'm almost done. I'm sorry about it. I don't know why Locals is doing this. But we should be back. Here's the thing I was saying right before we got cut off was, look, people will have criticisms and they're like, oh, well, he's laughing, or oh, well, he's having fun. It's like, well, actually I'm not. Most days it's get through the day. Get through the day. Get through the day. Just get through the day. Into the next day and the next day until you get your opportunity to fight, because you don't get to fight. There is no fighting outside of the process that exists. And so what people online will say is how dare he laugh in the situations, and it's well, not 100% of every day can be spent angry and dour. That's how people and that's why a lot of people who get into similar situations, they end up shredded. Their family gets wrecked, their lives get wrecked, they themselves, they get divorces, all sorts of shit happens when you're under the thumb of the criminal justice system in this country, or the family court system. They're just systems that are designed to break you down. And so people want you to be respectful or something. I don't know. They want you to be somber and dour 100% of the time, or you're not taking it seriously. It's bitch, you don't know what I'm doing. You have no idea how serious I am about anything, because all you see is this little tiny glimpse through occasional streams. And frankly, streams are where I go to blow off some steam. They're where I go to work and take my focus off of what I'm doing for the rest of the fucking day. And that means that while I spend most of my day going through documentation, preparing for this fight that I have with the state, or working on ways to effectively cooperate with the government in regards to the family case, where I can cooperate and show them. It's amazing. I can't wait to tell you guys the story. I can't wait to tell you guys the whole story. I can't do it yet. And the story isn't done, so we don't know the ending, but I cannot wait to tell you about it, where you're sitting here going, I can't do this, I can't say this, I can't say this. But the things that you can't say are things that the government has a burden to prove and hasn't. They haven't met their burden at this time. And so you're sitting here going, the government wants you to prove certain things, to show that they're to answer the burden that they haven't met. how do I word this? Okay, let's say, hypothetically, the government accuses you of murder. All right? They accuse you of murder. They don't have a body. They don't have a murder weapon. And they don't have actually any witnesses to say that you commit murder. No one can say that you killed anybody. They don't have a body. And they don't have a murder weapon. What they have is like... trying to find a proper analogy. We have is a missing person. They just have a missing person, right? And the government says, okay, well, here's what we need you to do. We need you to prove that you didn't murder someone and that you won't murder someone again. And you're like, I thought this worked the other way. I thought you had to prove that I did the murder. And they're like, no. Like, well, we think you murdered someone. We think you did the murder. But you have to prove to us that you're not going to murder someone next time. And I'm like, how do I prove to you that I won't murder in the future? Like, and they're like, well, how did you murder this person in the past? And you're like, well, but that, you haven't actually shown me murdering anyone yet. So how do I prove to you that I won't murder again when you can't prove to me that I murdered ever? Robert Ford, they actually haven't done any of that. It's amazing. That trial's not for a long time. Did I murder someone? God, no. No, it'd probably be easier to fight than fighting family court. So that's the thing. People keep conflating the criminal case with the family stuff. In the criminal case, the state has a long way to go to meet their burden. With the family stuff, the way family court works, they have a burden. No one cares about it. They just don't care if they meet their burden or not. They just get to say something. Who would I murder if I could? Oh man, that one guy. The one guy who changed all the good fast food frying oil back in the 90s. That guy. The guy who made McDonald's used to fry their French fries in beef tallow. And KFC used to be good. All of that, man. That was one guy with a vendetta against trans fats. He spent $4 million of his own money advertising against him because he misread a cardiology paper. And he determined that trans fats were going to kill everybody. And that one guy fucked all of us. He needs to be murdered. There you go. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to talk to you guys about everything and like lay it all out. I can't do it right now because obviously I have to fight the state. And there's stuff that that I want to talk about that the state doesn't even know yet because we're not there. We haven't gotten to make those arguments at all. But yeah, so I can't talk about any of that shit publicly. And so once it's all done though, I mean, this story is fascinating. It's fascinating. And I'll be able to talk about things, and the internal processes of it with you guys. And regardless of anything else, it'll be instructive, on how it goes. But I'm anxious to share, the struggles of fighting this, because I've mentioned this a couple times. When a government worker goes on the stand at a hearing and lies under oath, you don't just get to stand up and say, nuh-uh. And I don't think people realize that. If a government worker lies under oath about you, you have to have testimony to counter it. Well, what if you can't testify to counter it? And what if there's no one else there to testify to counter it? You have to just take it. You have to just deal with the fact that they lied. And that's a reality of the court system. That, how do you get around it? And it's not like it matters. They just have your children. They just have your children. So what do you do about that? How do you fight it? Your current situation worsened how you view the state? Or affirming what I already know? No, it's actually worse. It's actually worse. Crass Cat says, like you've been doing to your audience. No, actually, I haven't lied at all. It's amazing. People assume that I've lied about stuff because they don't actually know the story. But that's fine. Like, I'm not here to convince you otherwise. How's Lady Rackets? She's dealing with it. I mean, both of us are dealing with it. We just are stuck on other people's timelines. So, Bobblehead Farm says, perjury is common but rarely enforced. Fuckers. Here's the thing. How do you prove the perjury? Unless you testify. But what if the state knows that you can't testify? Or that testifying would be very, very adverse to your interests in your other case? Oh, well, suddenly they're not so worried about it, are they? Okay, Crass Cat. That's your story, bro. Go for it. All right, guys. I'm going to shut down. Allison Barnes says, wait, are you allowed to tell us where your kids are? Please tell me CPS doesn't have them. My kids are with family. That's as far as I'll go. My kids are in the care of family. So